Are we allowed to pet the dog?
Yes, this is Runa.
Hi. I'm sorry, I'm a dog person.
She's in the show as well. She's in episode 8, season 1. She might be in it again.
Is it so? It's your dog you brought on set.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so one of the things I love about your character this season, you moved past the trauma of the Gorn, which I was excited to see. What was it like being able to explore the romance with Spock and taking your character in a different direction?
Oh, so much fun. Like, not having to be so uptight all the time and so moody. The relief and actually bringing dance, which was my first passion, into the role, and something I asked for, actually, and I didn't think it would happen. And I was thinking maybe one dance routine. It ended up being like 7 or 8. I was like, oh, wow, okay. We had about, me and Ethan did about 74 hours of dance rehearsal outside of normal hours. But it was so much fun, and to bring my first passion into La'ana, make it part of her personality, was so fun.
I really liked the Romulan episode, though, where you become a Vulcan/Romulan. How fun was it to kind of go back to a badass route for one episode?
Oh, yeah, I mean, especially that I get to punch Paul Wesley. I mean, Kirk. I love Paul, but we're like brother and sister, so it's like sibling relationship. But yeah, that was really, really awesome that they gave me that, because, I mean, I feel like we've all done so much with our characters. There wasn't much left to do. I was like, what more can they give us, you know? And then when they came up with that, I was like, okay, brilliant, yeah. Kind of channeling Khan a little bit.
And my last question is, what was your gut emotional reaction when you found out you were dancing to George Michael?
Loved it. Jitterbug is like one of my favorite songs. I was so excited, so excited.
So Michael Westmore, the great legendary makeup artist.
The king.
The king, really, the king. And obviously it's the 30th anniversary of First Contact, so that was a big part of it. What was like collaborating with him, especially on First Contact, creating Borg, like different types of Borg?
He had created the Borg, and then he hired an entirely different crew to come in at 3 o'clock in the morning. So he had a whole set of ADs and makeup artists and Borg who came in 3-4 hours before any of the rest of us showed up. And the Borg just kept getting better and better and more evolved, if you will, as the movie went on and as the characters went on. So he was...
I'm doing a quick picture really quick, and then I'll...
As director, though, how fun was it doing kind of like a ghost ship zombie movie and also giving Picard a real edge in that film?
It was like a horror movie.
Yeah.
And I say with pride, I think you can watch First Contact and not know anything else about Star Trek.
Yeah.
And you've got a movie.
And what do you think about pushing Patrick Stewart's his character boundaries went further than anything you guys really did before with him?
It's a man with some of the great range in the world, so it was a privilege to have him.
And then the final question, you return to the Enterprise in the show Picard with your castmates. How was it going back to the original set with all your friends that 40 years almost of joining this journey with them together, going back?
When we walked back on the bridge of the Enterprise D, the fat one, as they say in Season 8, or Season 8 I call it, Picard Season 3, Season 8 of Next Gen, I had already seen it being built because I was directing prior to that, and it was done with such care and grace by Liz and by Blass that the colors were right, the angle of the arches were right, wharfs, everything about it. So I had gone through the emotional thing with Will Wheaton, actually. We walked on together. But the first time we were called on the set to rehearse a scene, I rode over from the base camp with LeVar and Marina. And I got out of the car and went in to watch their reaction when the door opened, because it was built on a separate soundstage. And the look on their faces was exactly the same look that was on the face of Geordi and Troy. So it meant a lot to us. That's the long version of it, meant a lot to us.
So you had to create this new character, Data, years ago.
Yeah.
What was the process of building it with makeup artist Michael Westmore to kind of build your character?
Well, I would try to be glib ordinarily, but in the case of Michael Westmore, I have too much respect for him to be glib. And honest to God, in almost every iteration of the character I did, I couldn't have done it without him. I would say he did half the work and I did the other half.
And for you, I mean, the makeup artist is a critical relationship. You're the first one you see in the morning. Right. How was the process of him being in his chair every day, working?
It is critical, really, because you don't want to be there the first thing in the morning, and you are. And Michael was always a wonderful, pleasant, vibe as soon as you sat down. He was a guy I looked forward to sitting in his chair every morning.
And my last question, the end of Picard Season 3, you return to the Enterprise bridge with all your friends for the past 40 years. What was the experience going back to the bridge and shooting that scene?
Well, I'll tell you what, it was, we had seen it, of course, before we shot it. So it was an exact replication of the bridge we worked on 20 years before. But being around my friends was not unusual because we see each other all the time. The most unusual part was that we were wearing costumes, and we usually don't.
7 of 9, what was it like going in Picard, being able to explore your character development past Voyager?
It was great. It was scary going back, and it was such a big change. So it took me a while to find her voice again and to make it make sense to me. But once I did, it was great. It was so beautiful to be able to revisit and to see her journey and to continue that.
How did you feel becoming captain at the end? Like, how did that feel for your character from where you started and where you now
pretty
are?
Cool full circle moment. I mean, she didn't even start out human. So, I mean, it's pretty good.
Star Trek Unification gave us the greatest gift. Kirk and Spock back together one more time. What was it about the project that drew both of you?
Well, I mean, I think my 40-year friendship with Rod Roddenberry and doing something that was relevant for the Roddenberry archive and the legacy of Star Trek, and also bringing Robin back as Saavik and connecting Spock's legacy and Kirk's together in this piece was something that was a big motivator and made a piece truly special.
His ability to weave those things together, the friendship of the characters of Spock and Kirk, and then to pull Saavik into it, and Saavik's son with Spock. It in such a short period of time, and to inject all of that history in that beautiful cinematic few minutes was miraculous, really, and such a compliment to his artistry.
And for you, I mean, doing Star Trek 3: Search of Spock, you had such a great relationship with Spock. Actually, especially in the movies, never really more intimate relationship, physically and emotionally, mostly. How was it for you to be able to actually pay that off?
Oh, it was such a gift. Oh my goodness. We're talking a lot here about the profundity of the emotion. When I was put into the costume that they created for Saavik and the wig and the aged makeup, I wept. It's like they had given Saavik a life, a beautiful life of integrity and dignity and family and all of it. It was a gift. It was really a gift. She'd been left behind so many years before, and we embraced that. We dealt with it at the time, and it was just so nice to come out and give her a life, literally. Yeah.
Now, from the producing standpoint, there's a lot of pressure. The fans are going to go wild if it doesn't go perfectly. What was most important for you and the Roddenberry family to preserve the legacy? What was any discussions? What do you want to make sure that we did in Unification to make sure everything was done properly?
Well, I mean, I think because we were bringing back Kirk and Spock, I mean, obviously Mr. Shatner's involvement and his sign-off and his cooperation and also his notes were really important. And also Susan Bainey Moy was an executive producer, so everything we did with Lawrence Selleck, who played Spock, was something that they not only signed off on, but were really encouraging us to do more of. So again, getting their input and their blessing and their participation was a huge part of doing this right. Yeah.
And is there? I know you probably can't say, but I'm going to ask: any hope of ever seeing Saavik again?
We'll see.
But you wouldn't be opposed to it if someday someone said maybe.
Correct. Are you kidding? I would come out and play again with this man at the helm any day. Any day. Yeah, seriously. Such talented people at Otoy and the Roddenberry Archives leading the way on these little films. It's wonderful. Yeah.